What's up, y'all? Today in the studio I had an awesome artist, Chase Wright. He came in to do a cover song for his YouTube. So we covered a Justin Bieber song called Lonely. We're gonna hop in here and we're gonna do this mix together. I've just got a blank session pulled up here and I'm gonna go ahead and import my stems. And I can find the folder on my desktop, I have it labeled here. I can click in here, select all these files and just simply drag them in. And then you can either create tracks or use existing tracks. If you create new tracks, that'll create new takes in the folder, but I'm going to go ahead and keep them where they are. It's asking me change the project, audio, okay. Convert the miles to project. Okay, this is a good point. We cut the vocals at 48K. We're going to go ahead and change the project to 48K as well, but they are bigger file sizes. I know that my tempo on this session is 80, so we're going to have to change that now. So I want to go ahead and bump this number down. I'm just clicking and dragging. Go ahead and make this big screen here. I want to bump this down to 80. Now we can go in here and listen to our click. All right, we hear our click now. Okay, so as I drop these stems in, I can tell everything is clipping. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag all these files down to bring my gain level down so nothing's clipping that master bus. As we're listening and making sure that everything's in line on the grid, let's go ahead and map this up for mixing. I'll go ahead before we map this up so it's more fun. I'll put a little compression on this vocal. Go to this stock Logic vintage FET.
Everything is not the same. It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now.
It's pretty good. Let's add actually another compressor on top of that. Let's try this VCA here. Just a little bit.
It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. What if you had it all, but nobody to call?
I'll go ahead and solo up this vocal here.
What if you had it all?
We'll go ahead and do a low cut here and take some of these frequencies that we're not going to need out of this vocal.
But nobody to call. Maybe then you know me.
Just for vibe, I'll go ahead and create a bus here. Create a reverb. We'll do chroma verb. Option clicked on that bus, and then that sent 100% to this room here. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
Like looking in the mirror, trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else.
I feel like that concert hall may be cool, maybe a little wet, so we'll just back off this bus here a little bit.
Everybody knows my name now, but something about it still feels strange. Like looking in the mirror, trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else.
Sounds great. I could actually use one more compressor. Let's use the Studio VCA.
Everybody knows my name now.
And I'm just changing up the compressor for no reason at all other than they react differently. So layering them very subtly. I can find that you can get away with stacking 2 to 3 of these compressors. I like doing it this way rather than sending a lot of gain reduction to one compressor. I feel like it has a smoother tightness overall.
But something about it still feels strange. Like looking in the mirror, trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else.
All right, just to get a little bit of that sibilance. Let's take a de-esser after this.
Seeing somebody else, and everything is not the same now. It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. What if you had it all?
All right, I know this song was cut in G sharp or A flat minor, so we'll go ahead and add some auto tune to this. So I want to go select the minor key, A flat or G sharp, change this to alto tenor, back this retune speed off, and that should be perfect. Let's finish mapping this thing up before we move any further now that we got a vocal.
Older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. What if you had it all, but nobody to call, maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just oh so lonely. I'm so lonely, lonely. Everybody knows my past now, like my house was always made of glass. And maybe that's a price you pay for the money and fame at an early age. And everybody saw me sick, and I felt like no one gave a shit. They criticized the things I did as an idiot kid. What if you had it all and nobody to call? Maybe then you know. What if you had it all and nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything.
I just backed everything down as the track got louder. The gain really started overloading that stereo output again. So again, I highlighted all the instruments and just pulled them down at one time. That leaves me headroom so I can mix and add a little bit more compression and limiting on that stereo out without distorting everything. So that's an important thing to do. That's called gain staging.
I'm so lonely.
All right, now that we got it mapped up, we can get rid of this tempo. I'm just left clicking, getting rid of that signature, getting rid of this arrangement. I can find all my instruments. I can left click, assign track color. We'll just say purple. And then all my music, bass, ad-libs, all this stuff is music. So I've selected all these tracks and color regions by tracks. Perfect. Got one little drum track here. I like to do my drums brown. You do them however. And we'll create a track stack with all this music. So creates track stack, a summing stack, because we know we want to process this stack, and I'll call it music stack. I know that all of our music's there. And I left this track out because that is a printed verb from the vocal session that I printed down. I just like the sound of it.
But something about it still feels strange.
Not sure if we'll need it. That's just like a standard stock reverb, nothing special. Let's go ahead and get to mixing on this track.
Everybody knows my name now, but something about it still feels strange.
I'm going to turn off this click. Let's start with this piano, because that's the main part of this song. Still a little bit of compression. Opto. Very gentle. Give it a little bit more gain. If you wanted to change the image on here, you could even give it a piano. And I think I want to send this to a verb. So let's try that chroma verb that we set up earlier. Actually, I'll call this verb 1. Let's listen to how this sounds. Hear what that sounds like? I like that, just a little bit of verb. Let's roll with that, see how that sounds in the mix.
But it's killing me now. What if you had it all, but nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything.
You know, I think for this chorus, I want to separate this main piano. So now that I have that compression on there, I'll just duplicate that track and drag this piano down, and we'll call this chorus piano. And I like to do this sometimes to change the scenery or increase the gain for a moment in the track for just that one part. Even if it's on the same instrument track, I like to break them out and affect them differently. So that's what we're going to do for this piano and this chorus.
What if you had it all, but nobody nobody to call, maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything.
I'm just trying to bring a little bit more of the brightness out of the piano in the chorus, leave it a little bit more dull in the verse, but when that chorus comes, I kind of want to hear the top end a little more. That's what's happening there.
What if you had it all, but nobody to call, maybe then you know me.
Let's do the same thing for this chorus. So I'll go to chorus 2, highlight this, click, and drag it down to this second track. And let's hear this.
As an idiot kid, what if you had it all, but nobody to call, maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just so lonely.
I love that. I really hear the difference between the verse and the chorus there for that piano. Let's go to this bass. I could tell it's pretty aggressive. And you could tell by the waveform it's already pretty heavily compressed, so it probably won't take much. Yeah, it's super compressed. So you can tell that's barely half a dB there that I want to compress this just to squeeze it a little bit more.
They criticize the things I did as an idiot kid. What if you had it all, and nobody to call, maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening.
Cool sound. I'm gonna high pass it a little bit, just to make sure no low rumblies are getting through. And again, I want to drag this piano down to this EQ track. Brings that gain up.
I'm so lonely.
Love that. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and automate that up just for that moment. I like the balance of it in the track. Let's hit A and click around here for a second. See if we can make this moment a little bit more intense. Here's how it sounds.
Lonely. I'm so lonely.
I want it to come a little bit later than I originally did it.
I'm so lonely. Lonely.
Man, I love that. I think that vocal mix is sitting pretty good. I think the music mix is actually sitting pretty good. And we barely got started here. It's just a great production. Whenever you have a great production that comes together like this, it doesn't take a lot of mixing. So I'll go ahead and close this stack. I'll add overall bus compression and maybe a little bit of EQ to this whole stack right here on this music stack. So let's do that right now. Classic VCA.
Everybody knows my name now, but something about it still feels strange. Like looking in the mirror, trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else. And everything is not the same now. It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. What if you had it all, but nobody to call?
You know, I think I want to break up this vocal here too. So let's go ahead. I'll give these a different color. Give it a little face. Let's color these yellow. That way we can just see the difference. Again, that little guy's just a verb. And the reason I want to break this track up right here is because I want to add some delay. I like the mix of that vocal. We'll go ahead and call this chorus vocal. I like the mix of that vocal in the verse, but I want to affect it a little bit differently in that chorus. So let's do that now. So I just sent a bus to delay 3, and I'll go ahead and come in here with the stereo delay. Let's listen to how this sounds.
What if you had it all?
There's a lot going on there. We'll just roll off these highs. I'll go ahead and change this to a quicker delay. 8th note. Let's hear how this one sounds.
Nobody to call. Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening.
You know, on this chorus vocal, I can go ahead and give it a little bit more gain. I could do that through this compressor right here, or we could just do it on the channel strip, which I think I'll do.
What if you had it all?
Maybe a little bit more on this first compressor as well.
Nobody to call. Maybe then you know me.
See, that's the nice thing about breaking these tracks up. I can affect that chorus vocal with the intensity that he's singing there differently than I did on the verse delivery. So let's move on here and see what chorus 2 sounds like on this same track that we've created.
What if you had it all with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me.
That's awesome. So what if I wanted to send a little bit more of that chorus vocal to that delay only in chorus 2? Well, I'll show you how to do that. If you click the delay that you want to see, so now that I click that bus, it appears right here. I can left click on that channel strip and it'll say create track. Now this is my stereo delay. Now when I hit A, you can see an automation lane here. So I have been sending my verb there through the bus. So that doesn't affect on this volume, but once I use this volume here, that'll also send more of that delay out through that channel. So let's try that now for chorus 2.
What if you had it all with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening. And that's just so lonely. I'm so lonely.
Whenever the piano gets really soft towards the end of that outro, when it's just the piano and vocal, the drums and most of the production goes away, you kind of want that vocal to drop. You don't want all this delay and verb floating around there. So that's why I like breaking up these tracks here. And man, this is sounding really good. This is almost finished. I really love the way this has turned out in just such a quick mix. So let's listen again to this last chorus. And I may do a little bit of automation on this last verse here just to make sure that the volume hits right. But before I do that, let me solo up and show you what this delay is doing just by itself.
What if you had it all with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening. And that's just so lonely.
So towards the end of the phrase, in between, I want this delay to kind of ramp up and take over. That's what's cool about making it on an automation lane. You can really control that. So here's how it sounds in context. We'll just listen to this track out.
The size of things I did as an idiot kid. What if you had it all with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me.
All the music stacked up in a track stack, just a little bit of compression on that. I have the vocals here. Not a whole lot going on. I'll show you what this printed verb sounds like. It's just super low in the mix, just for vibe. Most of our verb is happening in the logic whenever we have some stock verbs coming out of here. I don't feel the need to put these vocals right here in a track stack. The compression, everything sounds so good just sitting right now. Don't feel like you have to stack everything up. But let me go ahead and go to this master bus and just add one more little bit of compression here. We'll just go ahead and stick with the studio VCA on this and go to my last chorus, the biggest peak of the song, and we'll just give a little bit more compression overall.
What if you had it all
You noticed I took my ratio down there because the compressor was really reacting too aggressively. So for anything on this master stereo out, you want it to just react very subtly.
What if you had it all, with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just so, so lonely. I'm so low.
You're just going to end with this limiter here. I just turned it on. I'm just going to adjust the settings very, very subtly.
When no one's listening, and that's just so, so lonely. I'm so lonely.
Go back to the biggest part of the song again.
What if you had it all, with nobody to call?
And again, what I'm looking for is this dB here. I do not want it more than 3 or 4, especially on the limiting. You don't want to hit that limiter too hard.
Maybe then you know me.
I can adjust that by adjusting this gain.
'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just so, so lonely. I'm so low.
Let's go ahead and listen to it from the top down. This came together super fast. That goes to show you, you have a great vocal. You have a track that's produced well. It doesn't take long for these things to come together.
Everybody knows my name now, but something about it still feels strange. Like looking in the mirror, trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else. And everything is not the same now. It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. What if you had it all, but nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just so, so lonely. I'm so lonely, lonely. Everybody knows my past now, like my house was always made of glass. And maybe that's a price you pay for the money and fame at an early age. And everybody saw me sick, and I felt like no one gave a shit. They criticized the things I did as an idiot kid. What if you had it all, with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just so, so lonely. I'm so lonely, lonely. I'm so lonely, lonely.
All right, y'all, very minimal mixing, very minimal editing or anything done, and this thing sounds great. So that goes to show you, completely done with stock Logic plugins, with the exception of the Auto-Tune plugin, which I feel like you need anyways. You can make a track sound great. So this track is ready to be dropped in the music video and uploaded to YouTube. I can't wait to see what happens with this. I think Chase sounds awesome on it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. Keep it simple.